Let us start our fourth module, setting up of industrial units. The entrepreneur has to follow a lot of formalities while setting up of industrial units. Actually, the entrepreneur required to consider how the environment affect his entrepreneurial decisions. While considering setting up of industrial units, so many components which should be considered by the entrepreneurs while starting a new enterprises. All these components are discussed in detail in this fourth module. Anyway, today we are going to learn about entrepreneurial environment. Actually, entrepreneurs are not born. They are made right from the childhood. The environment around the entrepreneur makes an entrepreneur. Let us start entrepreneurial environment. Entrepreneurial environment is a combination of factors that play a role in the development of entrepreneurship. It refers to the overall economic, socio-cultural, and political factors that influence people's willingness and ability to undertake entrepreneurial activities. It also includes the availability of assistance and support services that facilitate the startup process. The entrepreneurial environment includes so many factors, including economic environment, social environment, cultural environment, then technological environment, political environment, and legal environment. All these components discussed one by one. The first one, political environment. Political environment concerned with general stability of the country in which an enterprise is expected to perform, and the political philosophy of party in power towards business. Political forces define the business climate by the constraints they impose and by the activities they permit. Political factors include political philosophy, political atmosphere, quality of leadership. So, the political environment include the political party's influence while setting up industrial units or enterprise. That is political environment. Then economic environment. Economic environment is the condition of the economy where the businesses primarily operates. It includes all the actions which make the economic activities possible in the country. Economic environment include economic resources, economic conditions, economic policies, labor policies, trade and tariff policies, incentives and subsidies, etc. So all these components constitute economic environment, which should be very important while performing entrepreneurial activities. Third one, social environment. Social environment prepares background for entrepreneurial activities. Today, business is regarded as a social institution, which include social structure, social values, and conventions, consumerism, and labor attitude, etc. So all these components constitute social environment which should be understood by the entrepreneurs while starting a industrial units. Then technological environment. Very important component of this entrepreneurial environment is technological environment. It represents the application of scientific knowledge for practical purpose. It includes the expertise, procedures, and systems used by enterprise to make profound changes in the transformation process and in goods and services. Factors leading to entrepreneurial growth are better utilization of productive resources, increase in competition capacity, risk efficiency, improvement in productivity, etc. So, all these components or factors considered technological environment which should be required while forming a particular industrial unit. Next one, legal environment. Legal environment is the regulatory framework within which an enterprise operates. Legal environment include flexibility and adaptability of the law and other legal rules governing the business activities in a country. Factors related with the legal environment are determining areas, regulation of entrepreneurial functions, regulating results of entrepreneurial activities. So, some of the acts, rules, and regulations which should be included, which should be directly affect the activities of an entrepreneur. So all these components considered under a legal environment. Then cultural environment. This is the last and very important component of entrepreneurial environment. Generally, cultural environment of an entrepreneurship is based on cultural and ethical values. Cultural structure, lifestyles, and education levels are important parts of the entrepreneurial environment. All these components directly affect the entrepreneurial activities of a firm. That is cultural environment, which include cultural structure, lifestyles, and education levels are important parts of this cultural environment. We can say that the entrepreneurship is the combination, or it is based on certain cultural and ethical values. So these are the important and different factors of entrepreneurial environment. Then let us discuss about the new concept or new topic, entrepreneurial ecosystem. An entrepreneurial ecosystem may be described as a set of entrepreneurial organizations considered firms, venture capitalists, business angels, banks, and some entrepreneurial institutions include universities, public sector agencies, financial bodies, and entrepreneurial processes which interact with one another in the environment. That is ecosystem. The ecosystem, that means all the surroundings of the entrepreneurial activities, all the surroundings of an enterprises or industrial unit is considered as ecosystem. which include different firms, different financial institutions, different institutions and bodies which interact with one another in the environment in order to the smooth functioning of an industrial units. So all these institutions indirectly or directly lead or promote the entrepreneurial activities of an country. That is entrepreneurial ecosystem. This is a important system which include all the institutions, all the surroundings of the enterprises or entrepreneurial activities are directly related or benefited from these organizations. That is entrepreneurial ecosystem. So this is all about today's lecture or presentation. I just conclude my presentation. Today we are learned two important concepts under the fourth module of entrepreneurship development. The first important term, entrepreneurial environment, and the second one, entrepreneurial ecosystem. Entrepreneurial environment include the important factors of entrepreneurial environment including economic, social, cultural, technological, political and legal environment. All these settings, all these environments are considered the factors of entrepreneurial environment. Then we just learn what you mean by entrepreneurial ecosystem, which include all the surroundings, all the institutions which directly or indirectly affect the entrepreneurial activities. All these institutions are promote the entrepreneurial activities of a country. Anyway, thank you.